Midnight Fugue, though the action takes place in 24 hours, the opening chapter, which I entitled Prelude, is set back some 7 years before, and it's taking place in the mind of a character, the character in fact who goes into fugue. And he's at that point of absolute crisis in his life, and as we discover later, it is a point of real crisis. It's a crisis in his personal life. He has lost a child, which is, of course, a crisis in his marital life, relationship with his wife. Is also a crisis in his professional life because he is under suspicion for corruption. And then we pass on to chapter 1, in which Andy Dale wakes up and realizes he's going to have to drive like hell, otherwise he's going to be late for an important meeting at police headquarters. If anyone asks me why I wrote Midnight Fugue, I'd have to say I just started playing around with the idea of the fugal form. I wanted to write a book in which the notion of having various themes being played out again and again and repeated in different ways, to see if I could do in a novel what a fugue does in music. And alongside that came the notion of the fugue in a psychological sense, the idea of someone escaping, going into amnesia, vanishing. Well, with every book, you've got an idea, I've got an idea in my mind, I think most writers have, and what you're trying to do is to to create the ideal, to match the actuality to the idea, which would be the ideal. I mean, I know Dalziel Pascoe pretty well inside out, though they still do have the capacity to surprise me from time to time. And it's been a relationship which has developed slowly, because I never meant them to be serious characters. People sometimes ask, do I see Warren Clarke and Colin Buchanan when I write the books? I said, no way, not even one. My pictures of Dalziel Pascoe remain as they were, untouched by TV. I never set out to be a crime writer. I just set out to be a writer. I think for me, the one which came closest was On Beulah Height. A Dalziel Pascoe novel, I don't know, nearly 10 years ago now. And I remember when I finished that, I felt good about it. I thought, yeah, I don't care what anyone else says about this book, I know that that's what I was trying to do. And so yeah, I'd say that's my favorite. Well, my first book was published in 1970. But I mean, I've been writing, I suppose, since I could write. There should be another Dalziel Pascoe coming out next year, which is the 40th anniversary of the first book. It's also, as I'm sure some readers are going to start pointing out, the year in which Dalziel went to the moon. How am I going to get around this? Watch this space. I'm thinking of going into fugue.